I'm going to jump right on into the tutorial today. I'm going to start by prepping my skin with my Smashbox primer water. I personally love this just as much as any cream-based or silicone-based primer. It works just as well. I'm going to let that set in. When it does set in, it does become a little bit tacky, so I apply my foundation right over top of that so it kind of sticks to the Smashbox primer water. I did lose the footage of me applying my first layer of foundation, so I'm just going back in. This is the Clinique Beyond Perfecting Foundation and Concealer, the 2-in-1 with that kind of wand applicator. I was testing it out, so I wanted to build it up a little bit to see what it was like, if it got cakey, anything like that. So this is me applying the second layer with my beauty blender. So far, from what I can tell, I really like it. I wore this out on a boat all day. It wasn't humid, but it was pretty hot, so it did last throughout the day. I had this on for probably about 12 hours. By the end of the night, it didn't look as fresh as it did when I first applied it. But it did last me a good 8 to 9 hours before it started looking a little stale. I did apply both layers with my beauty blender, and I've gone back to really loving my beauty blender more so than I have in the past. I find that I have to let my beauty blender dry a little bit, and the more that I work it into the skin, the better the foundation looks, the more natural it looks. So I've been just really blending and taking extra time buffing it into the skin, and I find the results are much better, much more natural. To conceal my dark circles, I'm going in with the Maybelline Age Rewind Dark Circle Concealer. This is in the shade Brightener, and I like to use this before my highlighting concealer because it does have a pinky peach undertone to it, so it's going to cancel out those dark circles. So I just apply a thin layer and then blend this out with my Morphe G2. To highlight my under eye area, I am going in with my NYX HD Concealer in the shade Beige, and as you can see, I'm not taking this right underneath that lash line area. I am going to take my beauty blender and blend the concealer upwards, so I'm really just taking it on my cheekbone, and then I'm also going to apply some on the lid because I've recently just been using concealer to prime my eyes. I haven't really felt the need to go in with an extra primer, so I'm just going to take that and blend this all in with my beauty blender. Next, I'm going in with my Boots No. 7 Translucent Setting Powder. This is my favorite stuff to prevent creasing underneath of the eye. It's made with hyaluronic acid, so it is hydrating. It doesn't make you look so powdery and old underneath of the eyes, which I sometimes have problems with other powders doing. But again, that's the Boots No. 7 Translucent Setting Powder. Now I'm going in with my NYX Wonder Stick in the shade Light Medium, I believe, and I'm taking that contour stick and going around the areas of my face where I would normally contour. This is one of the more ashier products from the drugstore that you can find, especially in cream form, so it does look a little bit more natural. So I'm going to take that underneath my cheekbones, around my forehead, and then on my nose to contour my nose just a little bit. I don't personally like to take my nose contour all the way up towards my brow bones because I tend to have darkness on the inner corners of my eyes, and I find that when I take the contour all the way up, it accentuates that darkness. So what I like to do is just apply it to the tip and then blend upwards. To blend this in, I'm using my Morphe M439, and I've never used this brush to blend out my contour, and I really, really liked it. Normally, I use my Sigma F84, but I like this much better. I do go in with the F84 and use that for my nose, though. It was just a little bit more narrow and a little bit easier to work with. Next, I'm just lightly setting all the cream products with my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish Natural in the shade Golden Medium. I absolutely love this setting powder. I've gone without it for so long, and I repurchased it the other day, and I'm just like, why? Why haven't I had you in my life for so long? It's just such a great natural setting powder. Now I'm going in really quickly with this kind of banana shade from this Wet n Wild contour highlighting kit that I have. It's huge. So I'm just taking that and just brightening up the eyes a little bit further by applying that right on top of my cheekbones. Next, I'm just going to warm up the skin a little bit and apply my bronzer right over top of where I applied my cream contour product. This is the E.L.F. bronzer palette. I've really been liking this. I got this the other day. I'm using these two shades right here. The shade on the top does have a little bit of shimmer to it, but it really doesn't translate to the face. It's not going to make you look like a glitter ball. It is really just natural looking. There's a lot of bouncing going on with this. I'm sitting in a different chair and it's got kind of like a cushion, so I'm sorry about all of the bouncing. As you can see, it blends out really well. I think I accidentally just forgot to tap off the excess product on my brush, so it all kind of deposited to one area, but it blended out really well. It didn't look like I had overdone it. It just blended out super smoothly, and you couldn't even really tell that all that product ended up in one place. Now I'm taking my Beauty Blender and some of that Boots No. 7 translucent powder and just using this to bake underneath my cheekbone contour. This is something I really never do, but today I felt compelled. So I'm just using that with my Beauty Blender, and Rent was on, so I couldn't help myself. I had to break out into a little singing session, and then I go straight back to work and bake the other side of my face. I am also going to take some of that leftover powder and use it on areas that kind of tend to wear away throughout the day. I have a lot of problems with getting foundation to stay on my chin all day, so I'm just using some under there as well. I did my brows off camera while I let that powder sit, and then I'm just taking a Morphe M501 Pro Pointed Blender brush and dusting all that away. Moving on to the eyes, I'm going to start by highlighting my brow bone, and I'm taking my MAC Pro Sculpting Powder in the shade Emphasize, and I'm starting that right underneath the arch of the brow and then blending outwards. For my transition shade, I'm doing something a little bit different. I'm going to take this blush shade. This is from the City Color Cosmetics Intense Blush Quad. This is in collection 4. It's a beautiful assortment of orange and peachy shades. So I'm taking the lightest one and using that as my transition shade. And I'm just taking this on a Morphe M441 and blending that back and forth within the crease and then a little bit above on the lowest part of the brow bone. Keep applying and blending that shade out until you get the intensity that you want, and then you can move on to your next shade. This is going right in the crease. This is MakeupGeek's Chickadee, and I'm taking that on a crown brush. I believe this is a deluxe crease brush. I'll post everything in the bottom bar below. This is another really fluffy brush, and you want to use fluffy brushes for your transition shades because that's really what's going to give you that nice diffused look. Next, I'm taking a combination of this bright orange shade and this kind of poppy shade. I'm mixing those two together and packing this on the outer corner. I'm using a Morphe M433. This is a denser brush. So I'm just taking that and again, packing those two shades on the outer corner. I'm not so much blending, I'm placing it down and then I'm dragging it into the crease a little bit, but you really want to focus this color on that outer corner. So packing it is the best way to apply it and then blend it out as needed. I wanted to deepen this up a little bit on the outer corner, so I'm taking a Morphe pencil brush and applying MAC's Embark just on the outer corner. You can totally leave it the way it is with those two orange shades on the outer corner. If you want to smoke it up, go ahead and take a darker brown. This is just a matte brown by MAC. It's a little bit on the cooler side, and I'm just focusing that again on the outer V. And again, I'm using that same technique as before where I'm placing that shadow down and then blending out as needed. To make sure everything is blended out and there are no harsh lines, I'm going back in with that Morphe M433, adding no additional color to my brush, using whatever is left, and just blending that brown out, making sure everything is seamless. For the lids, I'm taking this bright shimmery orange shade from this Nars duo. This is Mediterranee, and I'm applying that on the very center of the lid with a large shader brush. And then I'm going to flip that brush around and just use the lighter creamy shimmery shade on the very inner corner. And then to make sure that both of those shadows meet without any kind of harsh lines, you just can go ahead and take your brush and flip it back and forth between the two shadows so it's a smooth transition. Then I'm just taking a little bit of MAC's Nylon and applying that on the inner corner to brighten up the inner eyes, and then I'm going to line my waterline with the NYX Wonder Stick. I don't know if I like this more than my Rimmel Scandalize. If you're familiar with my channel, I always use that on my waterline. I just don't find the NYX pencil to last as long, but I love the shade a lot better. But feel free to line your waterline with whatever you want. A shimmery brown eyeliner would look really pretty as well. But now I'm just taking a combination of those two orange shades that we used from the Morphe 350 palette and running that along my lower lash line. I didn't take too much, but I want to make sure that everything is connected, so make sure you drag it around the outer corner of your eye as well. And then I'm taking MAC Embark and just applying that on the outer corner of the eye to smoke it out a little bit. I'm giving my bottom lashes a quick coat of mascara, and then I'm also going to do the same for my top lashes and then get them ready to apply some falsies. The pair of lashes that I used for this look were the Vegas Nay Shining Star lashes. I really like the way these look. They're dramatic without being overpowering on the eyes. Sometimes dramatic lashes can be too much for my eyes and make them look heavy. These are really lightweight, they're fluffy, they're so much fun. I really like this particular style. But now it's time to highlight the face. I'm going in with the Balm's Merry Loumanizer and just applying that to the top of the cheekbones, the tip of the nose, and my Cupid's bow. I'm going to go back in with that City Color Cosmetics Intense Blush Quad and mix a combination of these two shades and just apply that to my cheeks. And for the lips, I'm taking my NYX Liquid Suede Lip Cream lipstick in the shade Orange County. I love this color so much. Unfortunately, the formula wasn't the best. I have two other shades from this line, the Liquid Suede line, and I really like them. I have a red one, and then I have Sandstorm, which is like the popular nude that everyone has. But this formula just wasn't the same. It went on really patchy. It took forever to get like an even coat, and the more that I applied, the more it kind of balled and pilled up on the inner rim of the mouth. So unfortunately, the formula didn't work for me when I was in the store shopping around. It was between this shade and then a Maybelline Vivid Matte and the shade Orange Shot, I believe. I love the formula of those as well. Unfortunately, like I said, this just didn't work for me. So be wary when you are looking for the brighter shades of this line, because it does seem to be a little inconsistent. And once I slap that on, this look is complete. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you can stay up to date with all my upcoming content. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, my social media links will be posted down below, so make sure you go and follow me. Come say hi to me on any social media platform. I love interacting with you guys. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.